Okay, good day to everyone out there in Twitchland. Welcome to Chrono Trigger Jets of Time. This is our first second round Catalack Cup match between I'm All In and Chocosura. The flags that we're playing with today are Gear Rando and Healing Item Rando and Boss Rando. So this should be pretty exciting. It's a very interesting combination. I am joined today by Coldrizzle. Thank you very much for being my comms buddy.
Yeah, I'm excited to tune in to some racing action, and we got the 1 seed versus I'm All In, who I lost to in round 1, so definitely rooting for them, see if they got an upset in them, and just excited to watch some Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, this will certainly be an interesting match. As Coldrizzle said, Chocosura is our #1 seed, so he is a definite favorite to win this tournament. I'm All In has been making some big strides in gameplay lately, though, so we'll see. This could definitely go anyway. It looks like our starting characters are Magus and Robo.
Yeah, how do we feel about those starting characters?
Oh goodness. Well, the downside of Magus obviously is he requires more tech points than everybody else does to start learning his first techs. So you're not going to get much out of him at first unless you grind it out. So that's not great. Robo does have a lot of utility. Some of his techs aren't very good, but most of them are pretty good. His main weakness is he's pretty slow. That said, Robo will just barely hit hard enough at the beginning for some of the battles that people like to level up in, like Guardia Forest. So, I'm never unhappy to see Robo.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent starting party, and I think I did see that Robo has Shock for his starting tech.
Perfect. Shock is wonderful. That'll wipe all the screens at the beginning of the game. And that's one of the main things you're looking for at first, is something that's going to wipe enemies off the screen. And so right now, the players are spreading out, checking their early checks up front. Chocosura is checking the Carpenter's Wife. That's going to get him a key item here in a second.
Yeah, and these key items will help us not only sometimes unlock other places to go look for key items, but additionally, it's how we beat the game in Jets of Time.
Yes, certain combinations of key items, and in one case, characters, will put you into go mode, and go mode in a randomizer is basically having fulfilled a set of circumstances that let you go finish the game. So Chocosura checking Snail Stop, looks like it's the Bent Sword, and Carpenter's Wife was Chrono Trigger. The Chrono Trigger is part of the Black Omen Go mode. You'd need to collect that, as well as the clone and the pendant to go to the future and climb Death Peak. The 2 sword pieces plus Frog will get you into Magus's castle, and through there you can go beat the game through Ocean Palace. And then the Gate Key, Ruby Knife, and Dreamstone will send you through Tyranno Lair and then through Ocean Palace to finish the game.
And we're seeing I'm All In and Denadoro doing one of our popular grind fight options. I think with having Magus and that amulet, it makes it a lot easier to deal with those ring-a-ding-ling chaos counters.
Yes.
The birds.
That fight is worth 8 tech points. So if you're able to take it quickly, which is to say you pretty much need Magus or Ayla, better both of them, honestly, but Magus or Ayla are the only ones who can one-shot those bellbirds at first.
Oh, we have a new sighting and a Frog vanilla location.
Frog in the burrow. With a sword piece already out, it might be good that he checked that.
I've noticed in watching just some of the seeding asyncs that Choco goes and checks that pretty early, because that information can be valuable to know.
Yeah.
'cause we do need frog for one of the go modes, which would be unlocked by getting the pieces. So it's good information.
Yes, that burrow character can be collected once you have the 2 pieces. And if it's not frog, you don't have to go get them and bring them with you. But if it is, obviously, you better go recruit him.
We're seeing the Rolly fight. That's another solid spot to get some levels and attack.
Yep. Yeah, I myself like the some of the Guardia Forest fights. There's a power tab in there, and you can get free shelters from that bush, which is helpful at the beginning of the game, and you don't have too much money.
Yeah, agreed. I love shaking that bush for that free shelter.
Power tab is over here.
I wonder where our runners will end up kind of starting for their first check. We usually see at least... Okay.
They have converged. Just like that.
Which makes sense.
Yep. They've both finished their errands that they want to do up front in the beginning of the game, heading right into Cathedral for that Naga Ed fight.
Yeah, we've got the groceries, and now we need to get another character.
Yes. This fight will unlock one more character, and there is additional character behind the cathedral, which is to say, if you go through it and fight the boss. People will choose to do that or not to do that based on a lot of different circumstances. We do have Robo up front, and we know where Frog is, and those are 2 of the 3 characters that gate things. The other one is Marl. Well, it looks like this is Luca. Ooh.
I think here I would not go to the back and get another character at the moment.
I would be pretty happy to have Team Blue Rock myself. I would probably be pretty satisfied at this point. I think some people will go in and get the Naga Bromide. I probably would do that.
Yeah, I like to do that as well.
Yeah, in Vanilla, the Bromide only gives you a magic tab, but in Jets of Time, it gives you one of each. Personally, the fact that it has a speed tab in it, that's all I need to know. I mean, the others are awesome, but like the speed tab, if it was just a speed tab, I'd do it.
And we, I think, are seeing a bromide run by Alden while Choco is getting some more tech points.
Grabbing the power tab up in that room too. Our power and magic tabs are randomized as well. Magic tabs can be between 1 and 3 points, and power tabs will be between 2 and 4 points. Speed tabs are already good, so they don't get touched. Although you can, you know, not in any official capacity, but we do have sliders that you can play with if you wanna jack your speed tabs up to 9 and have a fun time at Jets of Time. You can do that.
Yeah, there's also the tab sanity setting to replace all of the chest contents with tabs for another interesting, fun time.
The tab treasure option is really interesting. You definitely rely on shops and gear a lot more.
I'm gonna guess by the fights that Choco has taken, if they decide to go bridge, it'll unlock a Magus tech by the time they get to the end, because I saw a couple forest fights plus the first Enadoro.
Yeah, the couple of forest fights will get you like halfway-ish to your 3rd tech, and then 8 from that Denadoro fight. So yeah, Xenon might do it, and it's the gate key on Xenon Bridge, so I'm definitely keeping that. The gate key specifically will grant the players access to prehistory, the end of time, and the Dark Ages. You can't go into Zeal without a go mode, but you can visit the Dark Ages and do Mount Woe as a check.
Which I'm a big fan of, doing it as soon as possible if there is the tech power to do it quickly.
Yes. Woe is full of amazing treasure. You'll get a lot of tech points up there. There's even rubbles if you need them. They can be a little bit dangerous to grind off of because of the time they take up. And the regular enemies are pretty good too, but there's so many options up there. But if you're not fast enough and you can't wipe battles quickly, then you're in for a slog.
Yeah, it can be a mountain of misery if ill-prepared.
It's appropriately named, for sure. N is heading into Hecarim Cave. These fights that he's taking are going to give him a good amount of TP. A lot of players like to do this early on and get a bunch of techs, especially Robo and Magus are not limited in their techs. Chrono and Marl and Luca and Frog still need to go meet Specchio before they'll learn all of their techs. They will get 3 instead of 2 before capping out. The other 3 characters will just learn everything, no restrictions. So with Magus and Robo, this is a good call.
Yeah, definitely. Some those they have to go to the end of time and learn how to think about magic and run around in certain directions. That's of course how magic is learned.
Gonna hopefully see a randomized boss here.
Yes.
Ah, yes, Rust Tyranno.
And additionally, if they haven't unlocked, the first 3 techs, you get those for free as kind of an incentive to go.
Yes.
Early sometimes.
When you visit Specchio, if any character there doesn't have their first 3 techs, not any character actually, just those 4 that need it unlocked, Specchio will automatically unlock those first 3. So Rust Tyranno over here on Xenon Bridge. Rust Tyranno shuffles into a boss spot and gains extra hit points. And so Rust Tyranno is going to be doing its countdown. And basically Chocosura needs to defeat it before it uses its breath weapon, at which point it will do heavy damage to the party. Rust Tyranno is balanced so that if you're at an appropriate level for the check you're doing, you should probably survive one of its big attacks if you're topped off.
Some Dark Mist in action, just wiping out Hecarim Cave enemies.
Yep, very nice. I noticed Luca got Flare off of a fight earlier.
Ooh.
Well,
I wonder, would you unlock magic if Luca had Flare but not Fire 2 as her 3 techs before magic?
I would, but as long as she had Flare up front, I wouldn't be in a huge hurry, I think. I wouldn't be super worried about it. I would definitely want to get Fire 2 at some point if I could, because Luca's Fire 2 is what goes into a lot of her best double techs, like Fire Tackle with this team would probably be one of the big damage dealers near the end of the game.
Yeah, that's true. There is the opportunity to, if we get Magus Castle Go mode, that dumps you in Ice Age, and then you can go through the portal there to unlock magic.
Yes, if you haven't gotten it by then, you can use that portal.
Nisbel 2.
Yep.
Yeah, which I don't imagine some powerful magic going on
Indeed.
with the team.
Nisbel 2, of course. We can lower his defense by using lightning elemental magic on him. But you can also just ignore that and cast magic, and he'll go down pretty quickly. And N seems to have had basically no trouble. With the Dark Mist and Flare up, that's really all you need, right?
Nisbel 2 down, and we did see Rust Tyranno do the Fire Breath, but party's all still up, and another boss down.
Yep. And I'm sure that was worth it for the gate key. And there's the clone out of Hecarim Cave. Ooh, we have seen nothing but Go mode items so far, I feel like.
Yeah, that could be an early Go mode for All In if they decide to peak the.
It's possible. Now he only needs the pendant, and I mean, the pendant.
Oh yeah, that's true. We still need a pendant.
Yeah. Well, we know that the pendant won't be in the future because that's how you get there. So, it's gotta be around here somewhere.
And we have Robo, so.
Yeah, so desert is a check. I would say at this point the worst place for the pendant to be would be somewhere behind that prism shard.
Mm-hmm. Could be on WoW. That would be okay with me, because I'd be heading there soon anyway.
Well, and I mean, at this point, that gate key was pretty early, so the pendant on Woe wouldn't actually be particularly cruel. And Flare, with Flare, there you go, you can do Woe.
Yeah, Flare and Dark Mist early on.
Yeah.
And Magus, yeah, we're getting no cake yet. Gonna save that for later.
I actually usually eat that cake right at the beginning of the game when I do my loop. I get the tabs out of the Elder's house, and then I go eat the cake so that my characters have full MP for the Naga-Et fight. Some of those screen wipe moves you get, your characters, at first, you're starting at level 1, and you're probably going to gain, you know, 5 or 6 or even 7 levels really rapidly, and your HP and MP won't refill as you're gaining levels. So some of those big moves that you need to wipe the screen, always make sure you've got enough MP to cast it. Actually, the big one is Chrono Luminaire. He needs to be level 7 before he'll have enough MP to cast it.
I think Ayla is another one that, if she starts with triple kick, that
yeah,
is that like level 8 or is that 7 as well? She has low MP.
Yeah, it might be up at like 7. That one I don't remember because triple kick doesn't wipe screens. Those are the ones I memorized.
We got some cake, and then we're heading to, yeah.
Alright, Choco's gonna maybe climb Dactyl Nest here. So this is a character check. There will be a character up here, and they will be at level 15 already, and they will have their first 3 techs. A lot of people will like this team and will run it because this is the Omega Flare team. Omega Flare is a bit notorious in our community because it helped to win a tournament once. Though what I will mention is what some people often forget is that amazing Omega Flare finish also had multiple Sunshades and or Prism specs involved. So it was a multi-boosted Omega Flare. That said, multi-boosted Omega Flare, yes, it's worth it if you can set it up. But that would require finding, first of all, the blue rock. So that's one of the 5 rocks out in the world, which are only shuffled amongst themselves, so they're all where you expect to find them. And with Gear Rando on, the rocks can have extra effects on them, so you're not necessarily just wasting an accessory slot on a triple tech. Those rocks could have beat up on them, they can have power seal, magic seal effects, all kinds of nice stuff.
Yeah, I think we haven't seen a ton of plus items on the loot pickups. I caught a black vest plus, that might be something.
Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of loot picked up in general yet, so we're still keeping our eyes out for that.
I think with having a sword piece and not knowing where Frog is, never mind, we know. Oh.
Yeah,
Well, that's the other progression gaining character.
Yep, there's Marl up on Dactyl. So we'll see what Chocosura does. He might check her techs, but with end of time access, Ice Re-Raise and Ice 2, that is a pretty good starting Marl, especially with Robo around, actually, because Ice Tackle uses Ice 1, and Ice Tackle is powered up a bit in Jets of Time, so it's not quite as good as Fire Tackle, but it is pretty good. So, you know, if you don't have Luca, but you've got Marl, Ice Tackle is a good fallback option.
Choco heading for end of time.
And N as well. Looks like they're gonna maybe converge on Specchio from opposite directions the same way Cathedral happened.
Get some magics.
I love how they're spreading out and then they're converging.
Yeah, and then it's where will they head next? I could see a Reptite.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, other than Pendant, this seed is pretty open right now. There's a lot of options.
With that Ice 2 and Robo, I might head to Desert 2.
Especially right after Specchio, that Magic Lock is going to be removed from those characters, and there's some decent TP farming in the desert. Those fights will get you like 15, 20 maybe.
Alright, the toughest skip, not fighting. Yes, everyone got it. Life 2 and Fire are next.
Very nice. Alright, Choco heading to the present. Chocosura hasn't done Hecarim Cave yet, so that would be my guess, because tech points.
Yep. It's a great call.
Alright, and N is turning in his Bromide.
Gotta get those tabs.
Yep.
I don't think we've seen the tabs applied yet.
No, I don't think we have. So we haven't seen how much those powered magic tabs are worth yet. Okay, N is heading down to prehistory. Ah, yeah, he's gonna go pick up the silver rock. Well, it's not gonna be the silver rock. Well, it could be, but it might be shuffled. What I mean is he's going to get the rock from the prehistoric new, and it might have something nice on it. Blue rock. So, all right, he's got his blue rock. Now, it didn't have a plus on it, so...
Regular
old blue rock, but that's the one. That's the triple tech rock for this party, so we might be seeing some Omega Flares.
I know Chad is happy, I see you. Yeah, regular. It's just when, with the power of gear rando combinations, when you get something like double, like, wonder weapon, dual techs, or there's a lot more combinations of power overwhelming.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff the gear can do. Ooh, that's a Nova armor with a question mark on it, so that means it's probably lost its status protection effect, but it will have another effect appropriate to the high level of that armor. And has gotten a secret tunnel dig pretty quickly. The secret tunnels have really good treasure in them generally, so a lot of players will try to get one of those special digs in Reptite Lair.
We'll get to see a new boss here at the bottom of.
Yes. Heist 2 is doing good work on Chocosura's side. Chocosura has now opted to run Team Blackrock.
Showing off that bat skip. It took me a while to learn.
Yeah, that one is a little tricky. You have to be holding left and down kind of at the same time and in the right way. Wait for that guy to turn around and pass him.
Yeah, I think at this point it's definitely hard to. I wouldn't be able to say if there's an edge right now.
No, certainly not. We're just still looking for those Go Mode items. When we see what drops from Reptite Lair, if it's the pendant or not, that'll be interesting. Nisbel 2 over on Chocosura's side. And Choco has already unlocked Magic and has Antipope 3, which should make pretty quick work of that dinosaur. Yeah, 1700 damage out of 2100. The Dark Mist may clean it up. Yep, that should do it.
We have is this Guardian?
That is Guardian.
I love the new stand-ins for...
Yes, this is our new Guardian. The Guardian's sprites are, I think they're background sprites that are sort of part of that future sprite set and hard to move around. So we've replaced the main robot with a new. Right.
Chad is upset they're not seeing Omega Flare now that they know the rock has been equipped. But I do think we're lacking one of the techs.
Yes, I think Robo had Laser Spin, but Magus might not have Dark Bomb yet. I think it's Dark Bomb that he needs.
And it looks like we're heading to Desert on Choco's side.
Alright. The Sunken Desert check is a pretty good one. There's a lot of treasure down here, and there's a few enemies, but the check is effectively just a boss, so it can be pretty quick. With Magic and Antipode 3 unlocked, Choco should have good damage against most everything that might pop up down here. And this check does require Robo to complete because you have to leave him there to reseed the forest. Jets of Time is kind enough to not actually remove him from your party, but you do need him to get through, nonetheless.
Yeah, he's just got a quick 400 years of farming to do.
Yep, gonna go over, sneak past the boss trigger. Nice Megaton Arm Plus for Robo. I didn't see what that extra effect was, though.
1.5 times versus match.
Ah, okay. So that will hit magical enemies harder. Looks like the boss down here is Mother Brain.
Computer doing in the desert, causing deforestation. Very strange.
Where's it getting power from? Really nice use of Black Hole there to hit Mother Brain and 2 of the monitors. Of course, if you kill all 3 of the monitors, Mother Brain will go berserk and start spamming energy release, which is pretty much the nastiest non-elemental magical thing that the enemies can do to you.
And her chaosing a character has led to me multiple times to having someone shoot the remaining monitor.
Yep.
So I've learned to quickly don't let that chaos character have a turn.
Absolutely not. And, you know, Choco was right there with the heal. Perfect. And also had used Hypno Wave because the monitors are susceptible to status effects. So you can shut off their healing real quick if you've got Hypno Wave, Provoke, Boogie, something like that.
Yeah, provoke was what I forget about, but I've used in desperation and learned of its utility from time to time.
You know, every once in a while, it'll really save you. Alright, and there goes the new down on N side. Unfortunately, Robo is down and won't get the XP and TP from this fight, but mostly what matters is being done.
Unlock dark matter and got a white mail. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Alright, and the item is the Moonstone.
Yay!
Everybody's favorite. So the reason we're so enthusiastic about the Moonstone is that, so the Moonstone, turning it in will get you another key item, and it will also, once you've turned it into the Sunstone, you can go get a helmet from Luca's dad. But you have to be able to drop it off in prehistory. You need to be able to pick it up in the future, which would require the pendant, which we haven't seen yet. And then you need to have completed the Prism Shard quest so that Melchior will be in the Guardia Castle basement to hand it to. So it, you know, if you end up having to do Prism Shard, it can be kind of convenient because Prism Shard, you know, takes more time than some people would like. And, you know, that way, if you got the Moonstone, you're at least using the time kind of to get two things.
Yeah.
But,
and there is some decent loot in those treasure chests in the basement, so I'm
that
not
is
mad when
good.
I have to do it, but it just needs so much stuff to even be possible to do.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely the kind of quest that makes you nervous because you don't know if you're, like, going out of your way on a wild goose chase, or perhaps you already have. So it's definitely a quest that kind of makes you feel behind sometimes.
Very true. So we'll see what the reward is for reforesting the land. And we have a trip up the mountain.
Yes, we're gonna see Mount Woe. And casting Dark Matter on the beasts, great choice. Those beasts have close to 1,000 hit points, so unless you're really powered up, you want one of those quote-unquote level 3 techs to wipe them most of the time. Flare Dark Matter.
I saw Luca unlocked fire too, so close to having some robo tackle maybe.
Ah. And the item from Fiona's Shrine was the Toma's Pop, which of course we can pour on Toma's grave to open up the Giant's Claw dungeon in 600 for another check. Choco heading back into Denadoro.
We haven't seen anyone go up this mountain yet, have we?
No, I think they've both popped in to use the first fight for TP grinding, and that's it.
So we'll get a new key item here. This was really the first dungeon that I figured out all of the skips for and could, like, consistently do them. They're pretty, like, none of them are too finicky, I feel like.
Most of them are pretty forgiving. Yeah, the one finicky one I think is that ramp by the bird that's sharpening, or the two birds that are like sharpening their swords. That one can be a little funky, but the rest of them are pretty easy.
Agreed. That one at the end with the rock throwing one took me a bit to, like, but once I got the knew kind of the setup,
yeah,
that one was a lot more generous. I wonder how many if we're gonna see a lot of taking fights on the Woe trip to really level up and get those tech points. I like to. It depends. It's all about, do I feel behind or do I feel like I have time? Because that power can really help boost through and speed up the remaining checks.
I just saw that gargoyle fight was dropping a speed tab too, so
That would change my decision to be, I'm gonna take all the gargoyle fights that I
Yes.
see.
Yeah, speed tabs can be a real game changer. So I would also, having seen those speed tabs dropping, I would stop running away from those gargoyles. The Bantam Imps, generally you want to run from because they're a two-stage enemy. You defeat the birds and then you defeat the imps, so they take time. You don't want to waste your time on those guys.
Ooh, prism specs.
Very nice. Prism specs, blue rock. We'll see.
Speed tabs.
Yeah. Those speed tabs are really going to help with Luca and Robo, especially since Robo's Ribbon hasn't popped up. Robo's Ribbon is one of the key items you can find from a check. You know, it's a dud item in terms of progression, but it's an accessory for Robo that gives him extra speed, barrier effect, and sunshades effect. Nice skip by Chocosura. Did Choco pick up the rock? I don't think he picked up the rock.
Yeah, I don't think I caught.
Oh no, there's a white rock plus. Maybe that was it.
Too fast for me to see what the plus was, but...
Yeah.
+2 speed, chat says.
Ooh, very nice.
I saw a question in chat too, if we actually know that pendant and it is on WoW. That's just like, I think the community meme.
Yeah.
It could be any of our remaining key items, basically.
Yeah, we like to, you know, meme things like, oh, well, the pendant's on WoW, or the gate key's on Genodome, or... Sometimes
that's what, if I'm all in, I want it to be, because that gives me my go mode. I would be happy with like a knife or a dreamstone, and I will not say any of the things that I would not want to see, because I want to keep the curses in the box.
Ooh, Terra Arm Plus. Very high weapon for Robo.
Yeah, we have not seen cat pets. It's not required to win a race, but I think it's just nice.
We do recommend it.
If you're in the neighborhood, if you're going to the fair, if you freed Fritz and you need to get those mid-ethers, like, I highly recommend it.
Got a Lavos spawn there on Chocosura's side. I believe that was the Elder Lavos spawn, as I saw it doing its Water Rise move. There are 2 Lavos spawns in the boss pool, and one of them is the nasty one from the Black Omen, which I think is this one, and there's one which is the type that's on Death Peak.
I think the good news is that it's one of the lower HP spots, so that even though we don't have a lot of single target damage...
Indeed. Chocosura just took that counterattack, but that Antipode 3 was strong enough that I'm pretty sure one more will kill the boss.
Oh, picking on Luca, but it looks okay. We just gotta do some revives, some heals.
Yep.
This is the final fight of monsters here on WoW before the final loot screen.
Yep, that's the last one. Mega Bomb.
I'd like to see who is guarding the frozen key item on top of the mountain.
Oh, hit plus 10 on that red mail plus. Haste on the Nova armor.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. Here come the Prism specs, maybe.
Prism specs.
That Terra Arm magic plus 6. Which,
oh, wow.
If N decides to go with Omega Flare strats, that'll really help out. Grand Leon on Denadoro Mountains. That is, of course, the powered-up version of the Masamune. Frog can equip it.
Which we do know where Frog is in his burrow. And doesn't it also unlock repairing the ruins? I know that we rarely do that, but...
Yes, it does. That also replaces the tools to unlock Northern Ruins, which can power up Frog, actually. It's only required in Legacy of Cyrus, which is a different category. But sometimes you'll see people pop into there for treasure.
We got Giga Mutant.
Yes.
So when a 3-part boss becomes a 2-part boss, it has its hit points of all 3 parts combined.
So, the way spot HP works, so we're using a flag in Boss Rando, kind of a sub-flag called Boss Spot HP, which means that each location has an HP value assigned to it, and the HP is basically divided between the important parts of each boss, which is to say the important parts are the ones you have to kill. So Gigagaia's hands, for example, you don't actually have to take them out. I mean, you should because they'll kill you, but they're not required for finishing the fight, so those don't get counted. So Gigagaia's head's HP should be divided here equally between the 2 pieces of Giga Mutant because both pieces have to be defeated. And in this case, that can be a good thing because with full screen damage like Flare and Dark Matter, ooh, Ruby Armor. Ruby Armor's good. You know, you're doing massive damage to both parts at once. And so when you have a setup like this, mutants can actually go down really quickly.
Nice. Fantastic explanation there. And I saw, yeah, we got Dark Bomb unlocked, so...
Ooh, there we go. And it's the pendant! Wow!
Ooh.
Wow. Wow, this is okay.
The meme is a dream come true in this case. I expect we're heading right to trial to unlock future.
I know I would be. I would not look back. Well, maybe to buy shelters, which is possibly what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely some shelters, definitely.
Yep.
I don't know if I would take even the sealed chest once I got to future. I think I think I would grab the ones from Bangor and Trandome. They're close
right
ones.
They're right there. I don't think I would go into Aristome or anything.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, and then, you know, I might not... We'll see if he gets any of the chests out of 1,000. Yep. And his pet the cat.
That's huge. Huge play right there, petting the cat.
Yeah, run validated. When you pet the cat, you win. Win what? I don't know, but you win.
I think it's interesting in like a one-on-one race versus more of like a group race. I think I'm inclined to be riskier, particularly where I know, you know, I'm against a runner that like consistently puts up really good times. I might feel like
yeah.
I need to like press the gas as hard as I can and
definitely
hope for the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're against a runner that you know, consider better than you, or even just equal, that's definitely a good idea. And you know, it makes a really exciting show for the audience, and that's good too. We're here to have fun, ultimately.
Definitely. Yeah, I would love to see Choco get the like other piece of the sword and get an alternate.
That would be so interesting.
Because we know Reptide is Moonstone. We haven't seen Giant's Claw yet?
No, he hasn't gone in that direction yet. I think it'd be interesting. Although I could see... So, I love to go to Giant's Claw in part because there's 3 power tabs in there. The other thing is it's pretty easy to run. There's only 1 required fight and the rest of the skips are pretty easy. But Choco's team is like literally the worst team for power tabs.
Right.
You know, it doesn't, you know.
They don't need them.
They really don't. Magus taking out the guards on N's side there. Now we'll see if N saves Fritz up here. We haven't seen Chrono yet, and if you save Fritz and then bring Chrono to his shop, Fritz will give you 10 free bit ethers. You have to have Chrono to get him. So I usually save him, but with N already in go mode and with no Chrono to be seen, I would understand if he made a different call.
Yeah, these guards are dropping magic seals.
Yeah. Magic Seal is a great accessory that raises your magic and your magic defense, and they sell for 10,000 gold. Looks like Choco is opening up the claw. Ooh, this is getting really interesting. I'm excited.
Yeah. Like, I'm definitely rooting for the other sword piece, because I love different go mode race at the end.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And, you know, different players are better at different go modes. You know, I think for a long time, the general consensus was that Tyranno to Ocean Palace go mode is always faster than Death Peak to Black Omen. But I know I'm personally better at Omen. That's just, I don't know. I just am better at Omen than I am at Ocean Palace. So it depends so much on the player, and that's part of why it's really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've gotten more comfortable with Omen. I feel like I've just been on a streak of getting it more often as the go mode, and
You too?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been practicing a lot, and I feel like I've run Omen like 7 times and fought Lavos like once in the last week or something.
And then I got Madagascar Castle last night on the Game Over Cancer run, and I was like, oh man, I know I'm not gonna get the 3rd bird skip, but I'll try anyway.
Was the ones on the like the Donkey Kong rooms?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. The 3rd bird skip, you have to do a special thing.
Yeah, I haven't got the knack of, like, my notes say, like, face the bird and then, like, bump away, but it's too vague for me to actually know the setup, so I'm gonna have to go rewatch that part of the skip video.
What you do is you use your trailing party members, so turn around and walk, and then when the bird bumps into your trailing party members, it will walk like off of the path, and then you can
that's the bump. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense. Okay. Bam.
Yeah.
Learning.
Exactly. You just turn around so it follows you. And actually, the 1st bird, you can do that too if you're too slow. So like, just backup strats. You can do that.
Yeah, we're all here to learn.
Yep. Alright, grabbing the rock up here.
Chat seems to take issue with particular people learning new things. You know, some of the top seeds are learning too, and they don't like that as much, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I should stop blabbing stuff to the top 3. Because I'm in 4th. Well, I'm not in 4th, I was seated 4th. It's different. But...
Yeah, I've definitely felt like boss rando is a bit more challenging of a flag set because I don't have the same confidence of like I know what boss is here, therefore I know where I can go based on the boss. And it's more thinking like how can I build a party that can beat the most possible bosses, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I definitely like to run I like running parties like N-Scott. I like 2 mages and a physical person, or 2 physical people and a mage. Because usually that will give you a pretty good, like, diverse spread of ways to do damage. Because Chrono Trigger, you know, sometimes you're gonna need to do full screen damage, sometimes you need to do single target damage, if you don't want to eat counterattacks from lava spawn shells, for example. Another mutant over here on Choco's side, Mega Mutant. So Mega Mutant is the other mutant where both parts are considered important. So I believe this is a 5,000 HP slot, and the parts should have 2,500 each. If this doesn't kill it, I'll be really shocked.
Yeah, we're not gonna have a very long time to hang out with Mega Mutant here before.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Terra mutant that you gotta watch out for because the bottom is a special case and only dies after you've defeated the top.
Whoa, does one not actually have to talk to that first doll
No,
to...
you
That's
don't.
wild.
And did you know the doll actually has a bigger hitbox than the tree?
Oh, that would be nice, because sometimes I miss the first one.
Yeah, so that's the trick. Don't talk to the doll. Hide behind the doll. It's way safer. It's very silly, but I love that that's a thing.
I have learned it is possible to, like, grab that power tab on the
Yeah.
side and make it to the second tree, but it is
Yeah.
a bit... Looks like we got Ruby Knife out
Like-
of...
Like, people are getting mad that I'm spreading knowledge around. Should I tell you how to do it?
I mean, I guess you could just privately message me only all the tips, and that would make chat happy, but I think we should let everyone learn.
Yeah,
wisdom.
honestly, I don't mind. Honestly, I don't mind teaching people things. The way that I get that tab, which I like to call the swag tab, you gotta be ready to dash out from behind the doll when the wind stops. So you just run diagonally to the side, mash to grab the tab, and then what you need to do is look at the snow pattern on the ground, and you need to learn where that tree is. But you can look at the pattern on the ground and know that you're running towards the tree before you can see the tree. So then you line yourself up that way and you should make it.
Nice. I'm seeing some pretty smooth Death Peak trip from All In so far.
Yeah.
Death Peak is fun because it is possible to really fly through, you know, and not face
You don't have to take any of
anything.
the fights. Yeah, there's nothing that's required.
And even ones, you know, that are a little bit tricky are pretty quick to run from as well, so...
Yeah.
Ooh, this is the one I see that gets a lot of runners, is the falling.
Mm.
That
You
one
gotta
I'm so treasure hungry that I always just don't hit it, because I always am going like right for that treasure.
If you're running and holding diagonally to hit the chest, you will miss the cracker as it drops. Yep. Nice slippy slide there. Well, not falling off the slippy slide specifically. Now we're at the cracker cascade. Choco heads up. Whoa.
All has got access to those extra speed tabs, which Choco will as well coming up. Although I wonder if they've taken it, like killed a gargoyle yet to learn.
Well, he'll have to take one fight to know. So we'll see.
I really wish we as a community could figure out a skip for this 2 gargoyle fight, because it's not enough experience to fight them, and if I don't have enough speed, they always just knock 1 or 2 party members down to 1 hit point.
Yeah. Alright, Nisbel 1 on top of Death Peak, which should be absolutely no problem for N. So Nisbel 1 works a little differently than Nisbel 2, but not in the sense of you can ignore the shock for magic damage, and we've got Omega Flare, 4,000 damage.
I think this will be a pretty short fight. Little Dark Bomb.
Probably a little more. I don't remember the HP of the slot, but it's probably
I think a Flare will. No, we're gonna get another Dark Bomb.
Yeah, that was probably 5k.
Yeah. Elixir, nice.
Alright,
always love to see those.
Always. Push the dino, climb the dino. And, because the alternate boss sprites can be a little confusing, you just push all the way to the right and you push all the way up.
I saw Choco picked up those prism specs. This is generally flying through WoW right now.
Yeah. That's interesting. He's kicking the crap out of the dungeon, but he's not getting those speed tabs that N got.
Yeah, not taking those encounters.
It just goes to show, you know, Jets of Time has a really interesting, complex strategy to it. I mean, I'm not going to say that running away from these fights is a bad call. He's absolutely
A
saving time.
Wonder Arm? Where did that come from?
Oh, I don't know where the Wonder Arm
That
came
must have been
from.
a chest on Woe, maybe? That
Uh,
we didn't
that
see
was.
All In grab.
Ooh, so that Wonder Arm is Robo's ultimate weapon, so it used to be a Crisis Arm, but the ultimate weapon effects get shuffled, so it's a Wonder Shot effect arm. The effects that the ultimate weapons can get are the Wonder Effect, which is random damage, often high random damage, based on the frame, actually. You can get the Doom Effect, which does extra damage when party members are down, like Magus's Doomsicle. You can get the Crisis Effect, which gives you a damage multiplier based on the last digit of your HP, with 9 being the best and 0 being literally 0. And you can get Rainbow, which is simply high power and high critical hit rate.
Yeah, and for the most part, you know, we love to see those. There's certain combinations. I've seen a Crisis Valkyrie that I was like, oh,
Yeah,
cool.
like when it's like Marl's weapon or something, it's just like, really, game?
Now we're seeing the trip into the Omen here
Yep.
for All In. These
Wow.
laser guards can be very spicy if one does not have high speed and
Yes.
big magic.
They will shoot you. They will shoot each other. When they shoot each other, they explode. And that fight can turn against you in a second. Now, luckily, N was fast enough. Wiped him with Dark Mist, no problem. They can just easily do the same thing to you. The moral of the story is just land the epic and save before you get on the Omen, just in case.
Saved often is generally a good strategy.
Earlier.
So once we see Choco down this boss, they will also have go. They'll still have to unlock Future and do Death Peak. So I think it's safe to say that, you know, for the moment it seems All In has got a lead here.
Yeah, definitely a lead. We will see how it goes. Chocosura is, I think, more likely to take fewer of the fights on the Omen, and I think that would be his chance to catch up. But N has a pretty good lead right now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think I saw N's levels are in like the 24, 25 area right now, which is, for me, a little bit low. I would probably take, I don't know, Zeal is a little bit easier for me than Lavos, so, personally, in terms of in-game.
Yeah, I would say she's a little bit easier. I think the trade-off effectively is that Black Omen Go Mode has more bosses.
Yeah.
Since you have to fight those extra 3 of them at the end effectively. Whereas, you know, in like Tyranno Go Mode, you'd just be fighting Black Tyranno and then, well, Black Tyranno is kind of the equivalent of the Nizbil on Death Peak, but then you fight the twin boss in the Ocean Palace.
Yeah, and definitely what bosses we see in Black Omen will be kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
We've seen most of the mutants.
That's true. We haven't seen Terra, I think. We saw the other 2.
Yeah, this is another where I don't want to specifically name any bosses I wouldn't want to see, but there's, I think, a couple out there that I would not be a fan of. All In resetting the eyeballs and getting closed eyes.
Yes, you can get past that first one when its eyes are closed. And yeah, it's true. I don't necessarily want to commentator curse them, but oh my gosh, I had a practice seed the other day where my Omen bosses were, not in this order I think, but Terra Mutant, Son of Sun, and Dalton Plus. Just like, why? Like, wave bye to that sub 2 on that one.
Yeah.
But of course, both players will have to fight the same bosses, whatever they are. And honestly, the big difference here is the Robo versus Marl. Chocosura using Marl has access to Antipode 3, which is of course just amazing full-screen Shadow Elemental damage. That said, Shadow Elemental damage is great here against bosses, but most of the enemies in the Omen will absorb it. So a Flare or Fire 2 from Luca is pretty much what you need to fight your way through. And Robo on N's team. Robo will get Heal Beam. The thing about Marl is she doesn't have a full party heal spell, so I mean, I like her as more of a mage and a support character than a healer, personally.
Yeah, I mean, she does have re-raise, so sometimes it's like, well, who needs heals when you have re-raise?
Yeah.
But I agree, it's a lot of times I will put magic tabs on like a Robo to get his full party heal to like a nice level.
Absolutely.
Plus some of his magic techs are pretty powerful if he actually has magic power.
Yeah, Shock is really nice. And if you have Chronos, Super Volt is great. Great double tap. We've got Goons on the elevator. Unlike some older versions of Jets of Time, we have standardized the elevators now. Players will still face a random number of fights between 0 and 3 on each of the 2 Omen elevators, but each player will get the same encounters. That used to not be true. And I have seen it swing races, so I'm really glad we standardized it.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice change. I know the second eye fight here that All-In was running from can be avoided by sticking to the walls, yeah.
Yeah, just don't go forward right when you enter that room. And then you'll avoid the first one, and then the walls will avoid the second one as well. And you come around here to avoid some robots.
Very nice, very nice.
Hug that little pillar. Closer than that. It's pretty finicky.
Yeah, a lot of these skips is like using the walls to accomplish movements to not hit triggers, and one of the first things I learned as a newer runner was like hugging the walls will just avoid a lot of stuff.
Yep. If you don't know your skips, try it. At least try it, because you'll probably skip some.
Yeah, chat asking that they didn't know there were encounters. There are. They exist. Sometimes they drop really nice stuff too.
They do. And I mean, as we've seen with those speed tabs on Mount Woe, it can absolutely be a good call to wipe, at least one encounter of any high-level enemies you run into, because you never know. They might have something that is absolutely worth farming.
We're at the new shop, and I saw a couple nice loots. We got a waist helm.
Was it a waist helm plus? Or
waist helm plus.
Okay, so that means that it's a haste helm without haste, but that plus means it does have something good on it.
Oh, like a silver stud pickup, I think, and some good consumables. +3 speed is what chat is saying.
Ooh.
It's a different kind of haste.
It is.
Yeah, I will say All-In got a lot of speed tabs.
Oh yeah.
And there was even one in the chest in the new room.
Yeah. N is in really good shape. Omega Flare is gonna do great work against most of the bosses that he could run into. It's gonna do great against the first 2 of the final bosses. So for anyone who doesn't know, when we play through Black Omen Go mode, we have a flag set so that Queen Zeal is the final boss. It's for balance. If the people going through Omen had to fight Zeal and then all 3 parts of Lavos, it just wouldn't be viable as a go mode. But it's actually quite competitive with Zeal as the final boss. But N is set up wonderfully.
Wow.
That spread antidote tree is going to cut through those first 2 bosses, and then the second form of Zeal, of course, you need single target damage so that her hands don't, like, kill you. But then this team is going to have Fire Tackle to fall back on. Magus can be the Alchemist. It's going to be fast. N is in such good shape.
Yeah, having lowest speed as being 14 on your squad is a really good feeling. In Black Omen, I've been through here with like a highest speed 10 team before, and it was a time.
Choco entry Keeper Stone. I don't remember when N hit Death Peak, but I believe N hit Omen at about 55 minutes in.
These shield people. Is there like a way to predict where they're going to be? Because I usually just like YOLO and run through it and generally get it.
I don't think that there's a like 100% way. You can it's like the guards in the prison. You can kind of guess, but every once in a while they'll nail you.
Luckily they are runnable. It would be really bad if that was a forced encounter.
Yeah, that would be awful. I hate the having to wait for them to open up. Very nice Snake River skip there.
Yeah, sneaking through.
So N is walking
intimidating.
against the eyeballs.
Intimidating. There we go.
For some reason, when you walk up against those eyeballs on the side like that, it makes them cycle faster, and you can run by them undetected when their eyes are shut.
Oh man, that's such huge. I really don't like those eyes because I just want them to shut so I can go fast, and that's good to know.
Yeah, and it's a hard call because it is much faster if you can slip through, but then you know, it's that balance of taking the time to get their eyes to shut. You know, at some point it would have been faster to run, but
I used to get tricked by the blink move until I learned that always has like a sound that goes with it, and when they shut their eyes for real, there's no sound, and that changed it for me.
Chocosura heading up Death Peak, no encounters so far. There is a treasure chest you can get on Death Peak if you take the first encounter. I usually only grab the chest if I accidentally get the encounter. But if you get it, you may as well open the chest.
Yeah, definitely.
Time hat. Luckily, on the Omen route, status effects are not nearly as big of a pain.
Yeah, that's true, especially with a couple of the mutants out of the way. We're not going to deal with any obstacle or Lavos' spell.
Yeah, I think the worst we could see for that at this point is a Terra mutant. But even then, these players are both really well equipped to take down Terra mutant. Alright, I'm All In has reached the first boss room in the Black Omen.
Level 28 with the gear. I would be feeling pretty good going into this boss gauntlet.
Yeah, and you know, Black Omen, your level is definitely less important than it is Lavos.
Regular slash.
Regular slash, alright. Mega player. So regular slash, as opposed to super slash, does have pretty good magical defense, and What I will say is if 2000 is half damage, you know, I wouldn't be complaining too much.
Yeah, that's still quite a lot of damage.
Yep. So, Omega Flare hype. I'm all in using that blue rock to beautiful effect.
I'm just getting so many, you know, and with that team speed as well.
Yeah.
With Omega Flare, because I know triple techs have like speed penalties, right? Depending on. Ooh.
Yeah. So there's a mechanic that's an ATB penalty. There's a small bug with it, but what it's supposed to do is every time a character uses a combo tech, that character's ATB bar will fill more slowly for their next turn. However, there is a bug that prevents the first character listed from getting that penalty. And so we do actually have a list on the wiki somewhere of who takes the penalties and how much the penalties are for which text. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, with max speed, you're not going to feel it that hard.
Yeah, chat mentioning that they feel like Magus would be better if they had some dual attacks.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
We haven't come up for any with him for dupe characters, and I wonder if we could.
Yeah, he definitely needs some for himself with dupe characters. Like, I don't know if it's like if it would be like double Dark Bomb or it would be like double Dark Matter.
Yeah, it has to be double something.
Extra Dark Matter.
Darker Matter.
Darkest Matter. I'm seeing anti-life where one Magus kills the other and does huge damage. That would be interesting.
It would be.
I did learn that, you know, and I knew this, but it's kind of different when you end up using it in a race, is that no one should sleep on Black Hole as a damaging tech, particularly when something goes wrong and a character is down. Like, it can be advantageous to switch over to that.
Yeah,
and
it absolutely
just say like, okay, you're gonna stay napping because we need to do damage fast.
Yeah, it'll pretty much double and then triple with one or two characters down, so definitely knowing about how much damage Black Hole will do so that you can do that math real quick is a good card to have up your sleeve.
Yeah, it's scary. Especially, I think when I was a newer runner, I was just like, that just seems wild to try to go at this with like one, but it's doable.
Yeah. And missing the bat skip, but that said, goons are very rewarding enemies, so taking this fight is hardly difficult.
Yeah, I agree, and we're seeing entering.
Yep, Choco boarding the Omen at about 112. Alright, let's see how fast Chocosura can tear this place apart.
Yeah, I wonder, you know, sitting in their seat, if they're feeling like, I feel behind, I'm gonna like not take any fight that I can run from or skip.
That's a good question. Honestly, gosh, I don't know. Choco hasn't made horrible time or anything.
No, not at all.
He might be feeling a little behind, but it's hard to say. I think Anne has just done fantastically this seed.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that we're gonna have, especially with like kind of looking at some of the times in the asyncs, that these are gonna be two pretty good times. But sometimes not having those extra checks that don't lead to go mode.
Okay, we have Lee back here.
Regular?
We'll see. Yep, regular Flea.
Oh,
well,
this
Flea...
is one I never want to see. I didn't...
Yeah.
I thought it, but I didn't say it out loud, and it happened anyway.
Yep. So Flea, of course, is one of everybody's favorite bosses because he has a counterattack that he can begin doing when he gets to 50% of his hit points, which I believe this Omega Flare will knock him to. We call it the Stare, which is a heavy physical attack against all of the party. Now, the one trick is he can't do the Stare if somebody's dead. So you can leave somebody down to mitigate that, which would be a great time to pull Black Hole out, like you were talking about earlier. The other thing is, again, it's not guaranteed, so while Flea is always scary, sometimes it looks like nothing. Sometimes the fight looks like no big deal, because we just rolled the dice and nothing bad happened.
Yeah, that's true. I never really love to see the Chaos character going and hitting Flea for minimal damage and triggering the Stare. But so far, I don't like to see them early either, because that Stare does a lot of damage even at the lower spots.
Early Flea is rough. It's never fun to wipe to Flea and then, you know, you have to go somewhere else, or you have to come back, or you have to grind. It's just never a good time. Mega Flare. And we're done. That was a lucky Flea.
Yeah, I think on those last 3 or 4 hits we could have seen Stares.
Yeah, pretty sure. Alright, last rock chest there. Gold Rock Plus. Well, Robo can use that. We'll see what's on it, maybe. Maybe not yet.
So we're at the first elevator. On Choco's side. Ether it up. Oh,
right.
Slash.
Yeah. Well, this one's got to be
Pure Generals. Super Slash.
Yes. Now, Super Slash does not have the same magic defense as regular Slash, and I think we're about to see that in action. Yep.
Yeah, those dark sky lasers really putting up massive damage.
Yep. Oof. Oh no. Luca. One more should do it. I'm pretty sure that's a 10,000 HP slot.
That should, yeah, be the end of Super Slash.
Alright, thanks for playing.
I mean, he got his one revenge hit in.
He got a Gloom Cape from Slash.
Slash is pilfering Magus's wardrobe while he's away.
Yep. Getting into Magus's closet, playing dress up.
Alright, well, we've got these panels, and then all in will be...
Yeah, this is the last encounter. These panels will drop a save point. Very considerate of them. And as long as this fight goes smoothly, N might have this in the bag. We will see.
Yeah, I do feel like none of the endgame boss are free in any way, unless one's coming in at like, okay, that's I asterisks with like levels and crazy gear. There are
certainly circumstances under which the final bosses can be pretty easy, but yeah, I would agree that I would never call them free.
I know with Zeal, I'm usually looking ways to raise HP on low HP characters, if I have any blue males, mermaid caps, or black males, I usually try to get those on.
Yeah, the seal. Oh, did anybody see the plus on the gold rock? He scrolled over.
Power and stamina plus 10.
Oh, okay, so that is a power seal effect. Very nice.
Yeah, we saw the menu glitch, which is we have the free flag on, which gives us more timing. I believe the general guideline is when the screen is entirely black.
Yes.
Hold Y or hold your menu button.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got a much more generous window for our opening round flags.
Yep, Chocosura slipping past Snake River and getting the chest. Very impressive.
Got some eye manip going on.
Yep.
Staring at the
one,
eye.
But that second one would not cooperate.
Lost the staring contest.
Well, here comes energy release out here. Did N decide not to go with a Mega Flare for Mammon Machine, maybe?
Yeah, it seems like Chad is telling us the rock is off. The rock is off.
Yeah, it's an interesting call. I mean, I think I understand why, and I suspect the reason why is the fight after this. Zeal 2 Omega Flare is no good because you don't want to hit those hands unless you're maybe really positive you can take those counterattacks, but you still have to sit through the animations.
Yeah.
Time. So.
It is interesting that there's a boss the boss before Zeal that you face that has hands. The game tells you to get rid of those hands as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I do remember casually fighting Zeal 2 for the first time and being like, I gotta get these hands as fast as possible, and that is not the thing to do. Let's punch the face.
Yep. You can charm in vanilla. Well, you can charm them in jets too, but their drops will be randomized. But in vanilla, they have prism equipment. Okay, and N is through Mammon Machine. Honestly, that was fine. That said, I'm pretty sure 2 Omega Flares would have done it.
Yeah.
But, that's like the worst thing I can say about his run, so, N is actually doing very well right now.
It's been quite a showcase of just great execution, and, there's always skips that we miss as runners, but, I think someone said it in the chat on our race last night, good execution in fights and, taking the right ones and running from the right ones.
Yeah.
Will save you, minutes. Versus kind of some of the skips are more of a few seconds.
Very much.
So let's see how he tackles.
Yeah.
Zeal 2. So definitely, I always keep in my mind, I'm counting HP.
Mm-hmm.
Looking out for that
Always
10k halation.
Count her HP. She has 20k, and at half, she switches her script. And that is when she will do halation, which is the HP to 1, like her first form does. And halation, we've added a message on it that says barrier null, and what that means is halation strips your characters, even if they've got it from equipment, of things like shield and barrier and positive statuses like that. That said, if you've got items, you can pop them back, or a magic wall or protect. Nice fire tackles.
Yeah, that's a big fire tackle.
Yeah. With this party, switching for this fight to the fire tackle dark bomb, I think that's the correct call for sure.
Yeah, if I was feeling lucky, I might be Uzi punching with that Wonder Arm and hoping for, a big old roll on it, but this is definitely the consistent approach. I think chat was mentioning there was a potential for a double B-bomb. I think Robo would have to be in the middle.
He probably would. I don't know, it might hit the hands too, and you don't want that. There's the halation.
Mm-hmm.
So
we don't. Oh, we do have a Mega Elixir. Nice.
Yeah, I've got a Mega. Most of us will just get hit by that halation and pop a Mega. So the next thing that happens is an MP Buster on the center character. It's always your first character, that MP Buster, so you can plan who's getting hit by it. But that's it. So some people might like to wait until the MP Buster goes off to use the Mega Elixir, but your HP is at 1 and their hands still have turns. So as we saw, somebody got hit with a laser and they would have been toast. So honestly, Mega Elixir, and then if you just have a regular Elixir or a Hyper Ether for the middle character, that will do it. But N is over the hump, and now we're just waiting for those fire tackles. Slash chopping up Marl relentlessly on Chocosura's side. And GGN, wow! That was fantastic. I'm even, so if I win my first match, I will be racing him, and now I'm like way more afraid than I used to be. So fantastic job. I'm all in. Seriously, that was an amazing run from start to finish. Wow. I'm sure we'll get him in here for an interview in a second. Chocosura continuing on after that slash fight. Man, that is a really great time. Looking at chat, how long do these seeds normally take? I would say on average about 2 hours, with a range of like a minute, not a minute 30. Anything around an hour 30 is really good, and anywhere around 2 hours 30 is usually about as long as it's ever going to take. And we've got I'm All In here. Congratulations, GG. That was fantastic.
Wow, I couldn't believe some of that good luck.
Yeah, that seed was just wonderful to you, but like, I mean, it was also a wonderful run from start to finish. You absolutely knew what you were doing with that blue rock and prism specs, and you know, half of it is knowing how to use what the seed gives you, and that was just almost perfect.
I know the blue rock can get greedy with, but it just worked out, and you know, using the menu glitch to de-equip it, going into Mammon and Zeal 2, yeah, just trying to make good decisions along the way. I thought my my goal kind of going in was don't wipe.
Yeah.
And it was a nice seed to, you know, have that goal with, and you know, there's lots of safety strats kind of within it too, with the speed tabs on Woe, and
yeah,
it was a pretty seed. I think this is actually my best ever time for a normal seed.
I mean, I've watched you run a couple seeds, and this one was definitely one of your best, I think. I mean, that time is wonderful. Anything sub 130, especially on Black Omen, excellent. And yeah, you know, having the foresight to be picking up rocks, especially since the seed dropped Team Blue Rock right at the beginning, so, and then the gate key, so you knew you'd be able to get magic. I think you made all the right calls there. And, you know, Chocosura is doing a really good job, but I don't think he took any of those Woe fights, so you've got those speed tabs. You know, he's running Team Blackrock, actually. Not with the Blackrock, but... Yeah, I think you did what you needed to do. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
In chat, Pseudo-Arc's daughter says that the cat pet play was the key factor. I agree, petting the cat was a very clutch move.
Oh, I didn't even sleep in the bed. I just, was so excited I had to go pet the cat.
Well, everyone who's won a match in this tournament so far has pet the cat. So, everybody take that and run with it. Now, not everyone who's pet the cat has won, but everyone who hasn't, I think, has lost, so...
I'll have to remember that going forward.
This is the Catalack Cup. Akuhaish says Zelfer's not allowed to pet the cat.
Yeah, so all in, I had a just question, kind of like, what were you thinking? What drove you to check out Mount Woe, kind of at the time that you did? Because that was really a big, time difference of you getting it without having to go to so many total checks. So I'd love to hear kind of what you were thinking during that part.
A lot of there's a few runners who they preach the early woe, and I think I had the team to do it, and so one of the things I tried to do, getting in there, was put a little bit extra speed on Magus, so that we could go through woe with those fights without getting taking hits. And then as soon as they started dropping speed tabs, then it's like, okay, well, this is a party up here on the mountaintop.
Absolutely.
So I was more willing to take some of those gargoyle fights because they would drop a tab.
Yeah, no, I think that was the absolute right call. As I recall, one of the components for Omega Flare was holding out for a while, so getting the tech points up there was worth it too.
Yeah, I think Dark Bomb was the last tech that showed up. And in Omen here, you might as well call it Magus's Omen.
That is true. Alright, Flea is down on Chocosura's side.
Yeah, I think we saw a stare or two out of Choco's Flea.
Yep. Flea is very chaotic. Ether, there's that gold rock.
So maybe got a little good RNG too on like the Flea fight, no stare, so didn't have to really do anything to heal up on that. Sometimes you do get lucky.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Flea is just one of those weird, terrifying bosses that you'd better be ready for, but then in the end, he might not actually hit you with the thing that hurts.
Yeah, I'm curious, all in, as you were heading, into Black Omen, if you felt like you had a sense if you were ahead or behind, or were you just playing like, oh, I'm behind the whole time, to try to push it, just kind of a little into your mindset heading into this matchup?
I think I got a little lucky with the checks. I kind of knew that really the only check I didn't need was the Moonstone, and that was in Reptite, right?
Yeah.
Didn't need any extra characters, so kind of had a sense that I was at least running a little lucky, and so just wanted to try and have as clean of an Omen as I could. Only missed a few skips, but not too many. I think I took about the right number of fights. To really kind of make it a nice, safe, and easy Zeal and Mammon and Zeal 2. So I was kind of keeping my eye on it because I knew, that Chocosura, he could catch up at any time. So I wasn't gonna, count on my luck too much.
Yeah. No, honestly, Chocosura's done a couple extra checks, and that seems to be a lot of what's turned it around. But I think that you getting Omega Flare and those speed tabs is also not to be discounted. Because I think that if Choco had gotten more of that stuff, then he would be making up more time right now.
I saw that he purchased 2 of the waist helms from the news shop. You know, so by the end of this, I think I was running everybody with 14 and 15 speed.
Yeah. And yeah, and I think you're right. Choco has made up a little bit of time, but and you boarded the Black Oven, I think, 17 minutes before Chocosura, something like that. So you had a pretty substantial lead at that point.
Like I said, you know, not wiping was a goal today because, you know, a wipe really could, you know, mess you up.
Sensible goal. And one
that you... Go ahead. Yeah, I would say it's always interesting, like, balancing the risk versus not wiping and finding that balance between not underthinking and missing an input sometimes, or sometimes overthinking and spending too long in a menu. But it really seemed like you were in that like nice medium thinking zone and just kind of flowing.
Indeed.
The one that felt like it was taking a long time was Reptite Layer. Nizbel, or no, it wasn't Nizbel, it was Guardian down there.
Yeah.
You know, spamming Black Hole, but you know, not really going through it that quickly.
Alright, here we go with Queen Zeal Phase 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with a slightly different party. Kind of see how this unfolds.
Indeed. An anti-free and a dark matter, I'm sure will be more than enough.
Yep, there we go.
Alrighty.
Having the speed too, I was able to get off an Omega Flare before Zeal even did Halation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad definitely appreciated the use of Omega Flare. They were a little disappointed they didn't see it on Mammon Machine. But you know, that's what happens when you're in the chat and you're not holding the controller.
Yeah, it's certainly understandable from a defensive standpoint. I do think you probably were fast enough to do 2 Omega Flares before the Mammon Machine did anything. But I know that the Blue Rock didn't have any bonus effects on it, and the Zeal can be pretty nasty, so... You know, an accessory that actually, like, benefits a character, I can understand the desire for that.
Oh, and the Blue Rock does no good on Zeal too.
Yeah. Second anti-free. Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, moving on to Final Zeal. Still a really great time on the clock here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Next drives that Sky Gate.
I did notice that the lapises were very low this seed. I think they were like 138 or something.
Yes, that's the Hazard of Healing item, Rando.
Looks like we're gonna see a lot of Anipote 2 and a lot of alchemy here.
Yeah, I think with this party, that's probably the way to go. $2,700 Antipote 2s. So, without any extra damage from Magus, we'll need 4 of those to hit Zeal. So, depending on Chocosura's speed, we might see her use one of her big attacks, if those don't all go off in time. I don't think we'll see Hexagon Mist. Dark Gear is a possibility.
Yeah, I never like to see those big attacks.
Dark Gear hurts. I think... Oh, okay. So he was able to absorb it with 2 of the characters. That's good. And this one should take her below 10,000 HP. Knocking her to 10,000 HP, as we discussed when N was fighting it, will change her script. So not only will she do the halation and jump into that, what it does is it resets her. So she's not gonna do the Dark Gear and the Hex Mist right away.
Life 2, waiting for that MP Buster, Mega Elixir, back in the fight.
Yep. Yep, riskier play on the Mega Elixir, but, you know, if you're paying attention to the hands, if you know when they're gonna go, you can pull it off. Now it's just a matter of doing damage.
What do we need? 3? Oh, we had Dark Bobs going off too. It's probably 2 more rounds of attacks from everyone.
Yeah, I think so. At this point, you definitely want to do it quick, because once she's done with all her shenanigans as she's switching scripts, she'll get back into Dark Gear and Hexagon Mist and eventually just be spamming those. Luckily, with the characters absorbing all that shadow damage, this hasn't been too bad. I think this might do it. Yep, GG Chocosura.
GG.
Looked like 142.47. That is still a great time.
Yeah, agreed. Sometimes the Chuck luck, so to speak, can break both ways, but I feel both runners got to feel pretty good about their execution overall.
Yeah, definitely a great showing today from everybody. Right, and we're going to get Chocosura in here in just a second. And it looks like, so N is going to move on to round 3. And we have Chocosura in here. Welcome, GG. May not have sound. But yes, N is going to move on to round 3 and face the winner of my match with Corinth. And Chocosura is... Yes. Welcome. And GG. Yeah, Chocosura is going to go on to play Mershana in lower round 1.
What a seed.
Yeah. What did you think?
I kind of wish I found. Oh, let me ask this first. Who was the character behind Cathedral 2?
I don't think we saw that. Mian might have a spoiler log though, so we could probably find out.
I'm guessing it was either had to be Ayla or Chrono. But as I was going through that seed, I was hitting, zonk after zonk as far as key items. And then I realized, hey, dependence on Woe. Man, I already knew I felt behind because I did all those extra checks.
Yeah, okay, looks like the castle character was Ayla. Yeah.
I figured.
Yep. There are also actually speed tabs on Mount Woe. The gargoyles were dropping them.
I mean, that's nice and all, but when I'm feeling behind like that, I don't have time to stop.
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
Although my speed was kind of all over the place because I was trying to have Luca be my fastest character so she can just blow up everything in the Black Omen, but turned out she only had, I think, 12 speed. But I don't know. I mean, I thought I ran that pretty well though, considering.
Yeah, that was very solid for sure. There was a lot of fortunate things on N's side, although he ran a fantastic race as well. You both did, so definitely both players should be very proud of their runs today. This was a
Did he go straight to Woe, or did he find something else?
I think not right away, but pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think he went to Reptile first, after going to Prehistory, and then after that went to Woe.
Oh, okay. I kind of figured that because I saw the dot done. I'm like, yeah, he had to do Woe pretty early.
Yeah. No, that fairly early Omen Go mode with pretty generous magic made for a quick seed for sure. But that was exciting. There was a lot of, in the beginning of the race, you guys would go in separate directions, and then you'd be doing the exact same thing, and then separate, and then the exact same thing. It was really interesting.
I see.
Yeah.
What team did he use?
Team Blue Rock. It was Omega Flares all around. Yep. It was in Laruba Ruins in Prehistory.
You know what? I need to start checking that more because I think this is the third time that I've had to race someone and they found something at Laruba Ruins that actually, like a blue rock or something like that.
Yeah, well, and especially with equipment rando on, those rocks can have high-level accessory effects on them, so it's definitely worth checking.
I've thought about using Rubble this seed, but I don't know. I guess I got caught up in the whole Antipope 3 Dark Matter train, and
yeah, that was a good Marl. Like when you picked up Marl, she had good stuff. Yeah. You had the gate key. Like I don't think that was a bad call at all.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Ice 2 and Re-Raise, I thought to myself, okay, so this is actually nice enough anyway. And I already have flares, so
yeah, and she had Ice too. So
yeah, Antipope 3. Let's just go blow stuff up.
Yeah.
unfortunately, I just did the wrong checks.
Yep, sometimes it comes down to that, unfortunately. But
Yep.
yeah,
Rando gonna rando, as they say.
yep. But that was a really great run. I think everyone really enjoyed it.
Uh, those black omen bosses though. Uh, I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, first the
yeah,
slash, and then the flee, and then the super slash. Like, what is this? All of them resistant to magic.
yep. uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, all right. So our next Cadillac Cup match is actually today. It is going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you look at the Discord, our Discord, we also have it written in local time. It converts to your local time. And that match is Akuhaish versus Zelfer, and that should be a pretty exciting match too. So I think for now, yeah, we are looking for a restream crew. So anyone, especially anyone who's an expert at comms, please don't make me pull double duty or anything. Let me know in Discord. But hopefully we will see everyone in a couple of hours. And once again, GG to N and Chocosura. And thanks to Mian for restreaming, and Sudoric for hosting the tournament, and Coldrizzle for being my comms buddy.
Yeah, I want to thank
Uh,
Batsy and the runners for teaching me stuff, learned stuff, just watching and chatting along.
yeah, fantastic race.
And great job all around.
Yep. All right, so I think we're signing off now, and we hope to see everybody later. And if not, Corinth and I have a race at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern this Monday. And until then, everybody, think magic.